I'm here. Hold on. Oh, okay. I did this right the first time. Usually my thing is like usually my thing is like all messed up, like my audio and stuff, but like I got it right the first time, you know? You know, it's always nice. Hold on. I'm trying to like fix the camera. Fix the camera. There we go. There we go. We in here. Ah, okay. So I'm looking at my GitHub right now. I did a lot since the last. It's been a minute since I streamed or recorded, but I updated my GitHub. Now you can see. Hold on. Updated my GitHub and stuff. I got introduction. I got everything up here. Got statistics cards. I got the tech and tools. I got the socials. I got the YouTube. I got the YouTube videos up. I still haven't fixed those. These two, some of them I have to fix, but I got those up. And then I have a couple new lessons and stuff. But I ended up opening up another repository called Textbook Practice, where I'm just gonna like do practice problems from my textbooks and stuff. I got like a bunch of stuff done for like my Java class and my C++ class. With my C++ class, they're like locking content behind the folders and stuff, so I can't really go as far ahead. That's why I don't have as much in here. But with the Java, they have everything open, so I try to knock out as much as I can. Uh, with this one, I just have like a bunch of textbooks that I usually just like try to knock stuff out. I'm actually gonna update this because I have another Python textbook. Sorry, that was my phone. I have another Python textbook. Actually, I actually wanted to like take time to show you guys my textbooks. Give me 1 second. Because we're using Pearson textbooks, so some of these are still, unfortunately, what is this? Online. Yeah, this is 5th edition. For some of them are unfortunately online. That's why I linked the companion website in my README for both. Uh, in the textbook practice, like every like class repository that I have, I make sure to link a companion website if they're available. But starting out, we have programming logic and design. This one's the 5th edition. There is a 6th edition as of now available. So if you want to like go and get yourself that, that's nice. Uh, this one is a little bit more. It focuses more on the algorithm side of things, like building algorithms and like showing you how to code rather than like a specific coding language. So in like at the ends of chapters, like let's say chapter 3 for example, what they have is like a bunch of programming exercises, and that's with most of these. But what they also have is focus on languages. So chapter 3, which is decision structures and Boolean logic, they actually feature. Not sure if you can like see, but they have like Java, Python, and C++, like little tidbits on like how to use it and just how to like do actual like operators or whatever. So this is a good resource that I ended up picking up for one of my earlier classes. I actually got the online version first, But whenever, because I prefer the physical stuff just so I can like have it on hand. So even if I don't have like internet or whatever, like I have the book. Uh, with this one, it's a little bit more abstract, but it teaches you more the algorithm and stuff, so I like it. I have the online version, but I wanted the physical textbook for that. This one, starting out with Python 5th edition. This isn't a part of any of my classes, but I figured since I'm learning, I ended up being taught C++ from my teacher when I was doing my program design and development course. So I wanted to continue like practicing using Python because it's like easy, at least for me. So this just has like a bunch of sort of like, it's structured the same way as this textbook, which I don't mind, where they'll give you like, the chapter will explain how it works, and then they'll give you like actual like programming exercises at the end of each chapter based on like what you learned in that chapter. So I got the Python specific one. It's not as how you would say, as thick as my other textbooks. I have Introduction to Java. You've seen this in previous streams maybe, but I have Introduction to Java, Programming and Data Structures, the comprehensive version, and the 12th edition. So this is the textbook that I'll be using for like the rest of my time at my college. So all my other Java, because at my college I had to take 3 classes of Java. I'm doing my first Java one. So this is the textbook that I'm going to be using for all of those classes. And then there's another textbook. It's called what was it? Starting out with C++ from Control Structures to Objects 10E by Tony Gaddis. Same person who made these two. The Programming Logic and Design 6th edition, and then starting out with Python 5th edition. So same dude made that one. Unfortunately, with that one, it's online. I don't think that they make a printed version, or if they did, they stopped making it by the time that I tried to get around to buy it. So it's whatever. It's cool, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure to include this with Python 5E by Tony Gaddis. And if I can find the companion website for this one, if they even have, hold on, because they usually tell you in the beginning. Yeah, there's video notes, so they do have a companion website for this, I'm pretty sure. Free question programming. Please note. Yeah, there is student online resources. So student online resources, it would be Pearson Higher Ed.com/CS resources. This one this is Gaddis. Then it is, right? Yeah, Tony Gaddis. Page 2, Python, companion website. I'm gonna make sure to link this too, just so then people can see this whenever you go to this page. in your website. So now when you go to preview, you can see it. Python. Move this one. Just so then you get the specifics. If I had to pick an emoji for just general algorithm, what would be the best emoji to present algorithms? Probably what is that one? The cipher? Or the developer? That feels too generic. I think I'll go, even though it's popping up in my recents, it's a little generic for this. We'll do gear maybe? Code, no. What was this one? Let me use this. That feels right. Yeah. Yeah, that seems alright. I'm gonna go commit changes. So now whenever you go to textbook practice, which is gonna be the new repository that I literally just made today, this will be the one where I just like post all of just Java, Python, and C++ practice problems, and I'll make sure to put in the specific textbook that I'm referencing by the emoji. Actually, if I'm going to be doing that, well, wouldn't it be better if I went book? We'll do green. What is that? Red, blue. So we'll switch these around. So whenever I do this, then I'll switch this one to this one. Move textbook practice to this one. That way these are all books, so whenever I am referencing one of them, I'll put those emojis into the file thing. Yeah. Textbook practice. I want to change that. But ready it right? Maybe? No. How would I represent this? page? No. Abacus, no. Floppy disk, no. Books I would use for the bottom one. This is just practice. Next, no. Food isn't gonna do it. No, not input symbols. Let's go back to the book. That's not what I wanted. Right. Think. I like this one because it has all the colors and stuff on it. I think I'll make this, sorry. I think I'll make this, that's not what I wanted. I think I'm going to make this one the orange book. Because this one has all, that one's the decorative color. Cover. Whoopsie. Textbooks. Then I'm referencing. I kind of like the customs one just because it looks like, and it seems like I have a lot of blue happening. It looks like a dude typing on a laptop, which I think is cool. There we go. Practice, utilize JetBrains, my IDEs. I kind of want to replace this one now on all of them. If I'm going to be taken from the blue section. A little too far down. Yeah, I think I like the star better. Then those can be the, yeah, that tracks. That looks better. Commit changes. looks way better. I'm gonna go off to my other readmes and do the same. Do that one. And so I put the Java right here. I put the little coffee cup here because, like, I mean, Java, come on. It's right there. I'm not gonna not use it. Do this one. I'll do book. How did I reference Java? I did the green. I did the green book. Just to keep it consistent. Green book. Then for C++, I did the red book. I did the little video game figure because I think C++ is used a lot with whatchamacallit, game development, goodness. So then, and then Python is the blue book. So I'm gonna make a Python one. I'm gonna make a repository specifically for the Python 2. Although, no, I made repository for C++ and Java classes that I'm taking. Any and all Python that I do, I'm gonna put into the, whatchamacallit, into the textbook practice. So now when I go to textbook practice, this has been updated. If I do any Python, it's going to be the little snake. It's going to be with the little snake. And if I do any Java, it's going to be in the coffee folder. If I do any C++, it's going to be in the game folder. Then if I reference any of the other textbooks, this is how I'll reference them. So when I go to C++, come down here, open this up again. Yeah, I don't like how that looks. This one. Redo this one. Then I keep knocking into the mic, sorry. It's just kind of set off to the side. And then I'm referencing C++, so it's going to be the red book. Gaddis, any folders are going to go here, along with their numbers for whichever chapters I'm pulling from. Update. Yeah, that looks way cleaner. And then Python. For Python, it was blue, and then Java was green. Changes. I forgot what color it was. Java had the green. I literally just said that. Java. You know what? The only reason I put it in this order is because green, red, blue up here. Python is green. Python is green. And because coffee's hot, I think that this should be probably turned around. And starting out with C++. Which means I'm probably gonna have to change it. This is what a lot of people do with their readmes on GitHubs, just going through and like making little changes, but it's these little changes that add up and like make or break people's GitHubs and stuff. Cause see now, yeah, that makes way more. Wait, no. Oh yeah, no, I botched it. Starting out with C++, this should be blue. First off, that just feels like a blue kind of thing. This one should be green. I didn't put the break. Where? Programming logic. BR/ Pandy website. When I look at here now, yeah, that feels better. Python is green, Java is red, C++ is blue. And then it's in the order of the textbooks here. And then I just put the multicolor for this textbook because it covers all three. So now, to go back, fix all of these. Can I do... What's this? GitHub. I thought I could. Let me just do this. This one's Python, this one's C++. This one for Java. I'm gonna wait to fix this anyways. This. Java is red. Textbook practice for Java has been updated. When I go to C++, this should be blue. That should be the blue book. This should be the green book. Yeah, that makes sense. And then when I go to any one of these, reload, when I click Java, boom, when I click Python, bada boom, when I click C++, bada boom. And then I can just add this one into Sense. Let me just do this. Since that one's kind of a catch-all with all of these. Gaddis. I don't have to put a break because this one's been made into a title. Yes. That isn't with Python? 5E Tony Gaddis. That is correct. That wasn't the right textbook at first. Teehee. And then C++. Keeps everything up to date. I will be... Today I just kind of feel like working on generic programming stuff because I'm pretty much caught up with everything else. So I want to work a little bit more on Python. So actually, first and foremost, I'm going to update this. This isn't class assignments. This is more personal practice. This is for Python. Python, Java, and C++. Because I'm probably just going to interchange. Then I'll make sure to put this. Ooh. This is not homework. Python and PyCharm is the thing, I believe. Right? Yeah, it's PyCharm. Update. You know, when I reload Twitch, it'll be there. I think. If it loads. Yeah, it's there. Okay. So now, IntelliJ ID. Ooh. I use JetBrains. Yeah, I have to be a little more abstract for that. Copy, paste. No, not that. JetBrains and Visual Studio as my IDEs. Yeah. And then whatchamacallit? Now when I go to Java, JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA, that's correct. Python, not IntelliJ IDEA, but PyCharm. Although it has been a minute. Instead of IDEA, you just put PyCharm. When I go to Python, no, not Python. When I go to textbook practice, and I go to C++, I just have to put C line here. And this one is just C line. But the reason why I'm using the JetBrains, although Microsoft Visual Studio is free, is because that's just what we use at my school, just especially for when we're in class, because we can all hop onto the same thing and code at the same time for live in person so that we can check each other's work whenever we run it. So that's why that's there. We are almost 40 minutes in. I've just been working on general setup for this, but now we can actually start into here. Add a file, create new file. We'll do number. No, that's not what I wanted. Scroll all the way down. Get here, we'll do 01. So we're gonna do a mix between starting out with Python and programming, logic, and design. If it has well, it does have exercises, but they're so simple that honestly we could skip them. Here we go. Basic programming exercises. This is no longer 01. Okay. Yeah, textbook practice. Python. Add file. I don't want to call this because this is chapter 2. Because I don't want to have like a folder and a folder and a folder. Although if that keeps it organized, I will. This one's personal information. Because with this, each chapter, this chapter, for example, chapter 2 of starting out with Python 5th edition, this one has like 15 exercises. Then programming, logic, and design, I want to say starting from chapter 2, because that's usually when they give you programming, whatchamacallit, exercises. Alright, sorry. Can't get any of that. I just want programming exercises. Yeah, and then this one has also has 15. It doesn't look a lot of them are like overlapping either. Although no, some of them are overlapping. So it's more like 20 per folder. Yeah, I should definitely put these in folders. So I'll put this in. Technically, this is a lesson. I could just put a README that says 02 or whatever. So for Python, add file. Am I really going to name it this, though? Because how many chapters are in this? This one has yeah, that has 15 chapters. Okay. That one has 15 chapters. And this one has, if I could get the thing, 14. No, right? Yeah, because that's an index. That one has 14. I don't like the way it looks. Maybe. Just saying. Just checking to see. Copy. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I thought I could mute it in time. Excuse me. Preview. If I was pulling into someone's GitHub just randomly and if I saw this, I'm not sure I would like it very much. Can I make a list? What do you even call this? This one's input processing output, and this one's also input processing output. So that's just what I'm gonna put. Input processing and output. When I go to the next chapter, that's decision structures and Boolean logic. This one is decision structure. Okay, so it's basically the same. There's going to be repetition structures. And then this one is also going to be repetition structures. Modules, functions. I'll do modules and functions. That just combines chapters 5 and 6. And then this one does functions. And then there's files and exceptions after. So 5 and 6 gets combined for starting out with programming logic and design. And then they go on to do input validation. And then arrays. This one does files and exceptions. Then it does lists and tuples. Then it does more about strings. Then it does dictionaries and sets. Then it does classes and object-oriented programming. And then inheritance. This one does input validation. Then it does arrays, and then it does multi-arrays. Sorting and searching arrays. And then it goes into files. It seems like I do input validation next then. And then I do single arrays, sorting and searching arrays. surging or multi-dimensional arrays. Is what I'm assuming, of course. Then files and exceptions. I'll make sure to put each chapter, that one, I'm saying that one. Starting or programming logic and design goes on to menu-driven programs. This one goes into lists and tuples. So I'm going to do lists and tuples. Then like more about strings. And when I say this one, I mean starting out with Python. Then it is dictionaries and sets. Classes and object-oriented programming. Then inheritance. The recursion. Then GUI programming. Okay, so inheritance, recursion. I'm gonna put menu-driven programs, GUI, programming after menu-driven programs. Programming, sorry. And then I think it just goes on to the index. Possibly. Nope, database programming. That one has text processing. Recursion. So text processing should probably go here. To be perfectly honest, dictionaries and sets, classes, inheritance, recursion. This one places recursion before object-oriented programming, which is, yeah. So should I talk about inheritance? We gotta talk about that, I guess. I'm trying to programming, and then GUI applications and event-driven programming. Oh. So it puts recursion first. So I think this is maybe right. Classes do GUI, menus, then database. Mayhaps, perhaps, is how I'm seeing this. Maybe. right? Object-oriented programming. GUI applications and event-driven programming. Programming and event programming. I feel like this comes after mayhaps, perhaps. Possibly? Is it just not gonna? Okay. Gosh, I remember. Okay, according to Google AI, the best way to put this would be input processing, decision structures, repetition structures, modules, input validation, lists and tuples, single arrays, more about strings. Text processing. Dictionaries and sets. And then sorting and searching. Then files and exceptions. Recursion. Menu-driven programs. Classes and object-oriented programming. Inheritance. Wait. Recursion, menu. Oh, I just put this in the wrong place. Okay. Inheritance. Database programming. Then GUI programming. Applications. And event programming. Go after databases. This would be core fundamentals. Okay, we're good. I'll be right back. We're good. Don't know what that was. But anyways, this would be core fundamentals. Is there a way to make this bold? That italicizes it, which I guess is fine. The core fundamentals. This would be, goodness gracious, where's the other? Working with data. Okay, I'll put the whole thing. Working with data, advanced logic, and external data. Object-oriented and modern applications. Or OOP. And modern apps. Okay, look at this. Core fundamentals. Wow, this sucks. That work? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay. Core fundamentals, working with data, advanced logic, and OOP. I gotta change this around. I should make that a filing cabinet. Core fundamentals, working with data, advanced logic and external data, and then OOP and modern apps. That makes the most sense to me. So I'll go through each chapter within the textbook as follows. So within core fundamentals, you'll find all of this. Within working with data, you'll find all of this. Within advanced logic and external data, you'll find all this. And then OOP and modern apps or object-oriented programming, you'll find all of this. And that's how I'll set up everything else too. It's programming logic sign, that's Python. Java, I'm gonna have to do. Java's a beast in itself because this is like how many pages? Not even including the appendix, it would be like. That's appendixes. 1,159. we're gonna focus on Python today. I have literally the rest of this year to do that. That's crazy. We'll do core fundamentals. Add a file. Actually, before I do that, Control A, copy. Cancel changes. Add file. Yeah, no, that's part. Woo! Create new file. This should be called core fundamentals. Core fundamentals. D.md. This one. Files. No, that's still a folder. This one. No. I'm gonna make this one a snake. Core fundamentals. No. Okay, add. Do this one. Fundamentals. with data, folders. Things on this one. Changes on this one. Advanced logic and external data. Apps. Okay. I'll get back to this one. This gets a little breakdown of each folder before you go into them. This tells you what you're getting into, just basic stuff. So when I click on core fundamentals, it tells me the other folders that are included here. And then within those folders, I could put what kinds of files are in them. So I could do this, copy that, cancel changes. Then within core fundamentals, I can add a file, create a new file, post this, core input processing and output. Or I could just put IPO. Input processing and output. I'm seeing that with chapter 2. I'm referencing 2 of this one. I can, if I go all the way back to textbook practice, I can go to the companion website for starting out with programming logic and starting out with Python to video notes for both. This one is starting out with programming logic and design, 5th edition. Put parentheses around this. Put brackets around chapter 2 to make it a link. Let's just Yup. Do this, that way you can get to both folders with the input, processing, and output. This time we're gonna put files. Put that, and then I'll put down a list of the exercises or the possible whatchamacallit. Yeah, no, just a list of the exercises. So this one, I can go back to whatchamacallit. Not even textbook practice, I can go all the way back to even my Java lessons. I can go to lesson 3 and then I can go to this one. Copy paste this. Put that here. So now I could put personal information. .py, I think is the proper ending for that. Personal info.py. Oh, py, sorry. I can do a program. Program exercise. That's how I can post like all the files. And then you have sales prediction. And you have land calculation. You have total purchase. Then you have distance traveled. Then you have sales tax. I think they all know that it's programming exercises. I don't have to put that. Everybody knows that these are programming exercises. Do I want to list them out like that though? Or can I just do this? Yeah, I like to look at that way better. I'll just put a space in between. I'll do like 5 per line. Break. Sales tax. Then do miles per gallon. Then I'll do tip tax total. And I'll do customer acquisition cost. Okay. I'll just do customer acquisition. And there's amount paid over time. Over time. Then you break. Preview. Yeah. Copy. Paste. Leftover pizza. And temperature converter. Or just temp converter. Stock transition. And then major, non-major percentages. Or college percentages. College percentages. And then ingredient adjuster. That's for the starting out with programming logic and design, and then with this one, with starting out with programming 5th edition, and I go to the end of chapter 2 and look at programming exercises. They have the personal info, they have sales prediction, land calculation, total purchase, distance traveled, sales tax, miles per gallon, tip tax total. They skip customer acquisition, payment over time. They go and this one, temp. They go straight to temperature converter. They do ingredient adjuster. They do male and female percentages, stock transition program. So they do have stock transition. College percentage in the well, it's really major percentage. So degree percentage is, and then for this one it would be gender percentages. Stock transition they already did. Planting grapevines. Compound interest. Sure. Then turtle graphics drawings. So within starting out with Python 5th edition, sorry, my other screen is covered, so I'm not sure if you guys got that. Let me do this. Within starting out with Python 5th edition, gosh, you can't really read that. Within this one with the like pomegranate on it, they have this thing called turtle graphics, where you can like post graphics to the screen using code and stuff, which I assume is going to come up later within GUI design and stuff. So that's just like a little extra thing that they don't really talk about in the programming logic and design, because that's more for figuring out how to think like a software developer, or how to think about how to make algorithms. So with the Python one, it's specifically talking about the stuff that you could do with Python, with the programming logic and design, that's more so more general view of whatchamacallit, software development in general, which is why they have like the Python, the Java, and the C++ wrapped in one towards the end, where they give you like a little blurb applying what you learn arithmetically to those specific languages. So these are all the files. Yeah. Great, readme. So now we are an hour, 24 minutes into this. Set up core fundamentals. That was just for IPO. So this is just input, processing, output. This specifically references chapter 2, and that's where you get all of these files. So now I'm going to set up decision structures and Boolean logic. So what I can do, I can just copy paste, cancel changes. I can go to IPO, core fundamentals. Here's logic. Do this. Readme.md. Paste this. Change this. So for that, I think they both. So it's chapter 3 in starting out with Python, decision structures and Boolean logic. And it's also chapter 3 in starting out with programming logic and design. So now I can go through and those things. So this one's day of the week. First, I'll start with programming logic and design. So first is Roman numerals. Then it's areas. Tangles. Mass and weight. Magic dates. Color mixer. Then book club points, software sales. Then change for $1 game. Dollar change game. Shipping charges. Kind calculator. Leap year detector. Then with that, we switch over to starting out with Python, 5th edition. So they start with day of the week. Then areas of rectangles, which we have age classifier, Roman numerals, which we have mass and weight, magic dates, color mixer, hot dog cookout calculator, hot dog calc, roulette wheel colors, or just roulette colors, or color wheel, roulette color wheel, money counting game. It's the same thing as the dollar change game. Book club points, we have that. Software sales, we have that. Shipping charges, we have that. Body mass index, I don't believe. BMI index. That might be the mass and weight thing, though. Hold up. Right? No, that one's doing newtons. That one's doing a whole different thing. BMI index. Time calculator, we have February days, which is the leap year thing. Wi-Fi diagnostic tree. Okay. Wi-Fi tree. Restaurant selector. Then turtle graphics, hit the target. So we'll do hit the target. Preview, see it all, be happy. Commit changes. That's decision structures and Boolean logic. IPO, input processing and output. Repetition structures is next. So repetition is chapter 4 in starting out with Python, and then it is also chapter 4 in programming logic in design. Repetition structures. Read.md. Dang. Core fundamentals. Decision structures. IPO. Copy, paste, F11, decision structure, well, doesn't really matter. Decision structures and Boolean logic, these both are chapter 4. The reason I'm not changing the the reason I'm not changing the link is because it all goes to like the same page, like the video notes, which is like the supplementary stuff that they have for both of these for all of these textbooks, are all on like one page, and it just has like the chapter name and the links to the videos for like every chapter. So that's the reason why I'm only changing the number of chapter that I'm referencing for the README blurbs, essentially. So now I'm going to the end. This one. And the end of this one. So we have bug collector. We have candy factory. We have budget analysis. We have sum of numbers. We have tuition increase. We have distance traveled. Again? Yeah. Whatever, we have average rainfall. We have temperature, temp, vert, table, temp converter table. Or rather just temp table. That's not how you spell temperature. Temperature table. We have pennies for pay. Alright. Pennies for pay. Then we have largest and smallest. First and last. Factorial of a number. Calc factorials. The multiplication table. Or just mult table. That's the end of that. Now moving on to starting out with Python. So this is going to be bug collector, which we have calories burned. We don't. Then we have budget analysis, which we have distance traveled, we have average rainfall, we have a temperature table, pennies for pay, sum of numbers, ocean levels. Tuition increase, yes. Weight loss, no. What? In the what? Sorry. That was a cat. My cat, actually. He was tripping. But he's straight. Goodness, that scared me. Where was I? need to listen to something. Put this on loop. What am I looking for? Weight loss is what I ended on. Factorial we have, population we don't. Pattern. We'll do patterns. We'll just combine two because it's like the same thing. Repeating squares. Star pattern. Then hypnotic pattern. And stop sign. Okay. I'm gonna just put largest, smallest. You don't need the and. We'll be fine. Largest, smallest. Stop sign. Yeah, that does it. That covers chapter 4 decision. That's repetition structures. So then for modules and functions. Right, modules and functions. So for this one, it's just chapter 5 and then chapter 6. No, not even chapter 6. It's just chapter 5. I don't think this one, I keep saying this one, I don't think starting out with Python does the modules specifically. I think it just jumps straight into functions. Yeah, it just jumps straight into functions. On the other hand, programming logic and design does modules and then functions. So this one covers chapter 5 and then chapter 6. Starting out with Python just covers chapter 5. The more you know. So I'm gonna go into copy. I'm going to make modules and functions. readme.md. So this is first starting out with Python chapter 5. Actually, open the calculator. This one's, I'm going to do chapters 5 through 6. So there's going to be a lot more files in here. This is modules and functions. Modules and functions. In the information slots, I'm going to go through and like actually put in what this is covering. It's not just going to say various practice problems with my textbooks for Python. But I'm starting to get tired. It's 10:54. I've been streaming for about 1 hour, 43 minutes. So once I finish doing this, I'll give it a break at 2 more hours. Kind of running on fumes here. Let's see. We'll do modules first, and starting out with programming, logic, and design. And then we'll do functions from both. So we're going to do kilometer converter. Isn't kilometer km? I feel kind of dumb for saying that, but 2 miles. Yeah, it is km. Km converter. Sales text program refactor. Sales text refactor. Insurance. Costs. Free. Property tax. Of goods sold. The cookout. Why am I getting deja vu? We just did the hot dog calc, so why is it appearing here? Or was that from this one? I think that would have been the same. Literally, I think. Unless I'm tripping. I don't think I'm tripping though. I think I literally read hot dog calc out loud. Yeah, hot dog cookout calculator. Assume that hot dogs comes in. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. I don't have to write that twice. I'm not going to write that twice because that's... We already did that one. Yeah. Inventory shrinkage. Shrinkage. Stadium seats. Paint job estimate. Monthly sales tax. I'll write it. I'm not writing down hot dog cookout calculator. Now we're going on to functions. So this is chapter 6. We already did rectangle area. We didn't do feet to inches. Feet to inch is, I can put it. Math quiz. Max of 2 values. Falling distance. Kinetic energy. Average and grade. Odd. Even. Calc. No, count. Odd even count. Guess the number. It's not how you spell the. Prime numbers. Prime num list. Although it's similar, I'll do it again. This one is rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Slot machine. ESP. Game. So this is still modules and functions. So this one's chapter 5 functions out of whatchamacallit, starting out with Python 5th edition. So this one is kilometer converter, sales tax refactor, how much insurance, automobile costs, property tax, calories from fat and carbohydrates, or carbs. Fat and carbs. Calories from fat and carbs. Stadium seating, paint job estimator, monthly sales tax, feet to inches math quiz. Max of 2 values, falling distance, kinetic energy, test average and grade, odd, even, prime numbers. Prime number list, future value. Random number guessing game, which I guess is the ESP game. Rock, paper, scissors. And then triangle function. If I could spell. Draw snowman. Seems fitting. Since apparently there's just going to be snow everywhere, apparently. Rectangular pattern. Rectangular pattern. Checkerboard. City skyline. And then that is it for this. That's a lot of files. That's a lot of files. So that would be for modules and functions. No, I keep clicking. It's trying to load. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just go back to core fundamentals. That's taking too long. Copy, core fundamentals. Oh, you're like struggling. What's this? Close out of that. Close out of it, struggling. Close out of this too. I'm not using it. Probably won't use it for a while. Go back to GitHub. Go to textbook practice. Go to Python. Go to core fundamentals. And I'm going to do input validation. .md input validation. So the input validation, I want to say is only, I don't even think this one covers input validation. Classes and object-oriented programming. Yeah, no, I think that input validation is only really covered by the starting out with programming logic and design, so that's cool. Which is chapter 7. So that is chapter 7, so I won't be doing this one. I will be going towards the end of this. There's only 4. Just payroll, theater sitting, or seating. Violation. Calc. Stop trying to get me to restart. Gosh, I'm gonna go to Linux. Right, paper server, there's modification. Okay, gosh. And then, yeah, I think that's all are in these. So that's all the core fundamentals. And then it would go on to lists and tuples. This is arrays, sorting and searching arrays, files, menu-driven programs, and then text processing. So in this case, I would go, because I already did chapter 5, which is functions, yeah, roles and exceptions. Lists and tuples, so I would only be using starting out with Python 5th edition. Oh, my stream ended. This is why we record. Okay. list in tuples. So now this is working with data. So this is only going to be out of here. This is going to be starting out with Python, chapter 7. So I won't be referencing programming logic because it doesn't cover this. Or at the very least, there's not a chapter dedicated to this. Although there are far more programming exercises in this one. So, total sales? I feel like we did this one, but I'll write it anyways. Lottery numbers. Info statistics. Number analysis. Charge account. Larger than n. Driver's exam. Name search. Population data. Not popular, population. World Series champs. Magic square. Generator. Magic 8-ball. Pie chart. Weekly gas graph. It changes. Now single arrays. This one goes into more about strings. Does it cover single arrays? It covers dictionaries and sets. It is classes and object-oriented programming, and then inheritance, and then recursion. So single arrays are covered in chapter 8 of programming logic and design, which comes before more about strings. Just because I have it open, I would just do the more about strings first. Strings. readme.md. More about strings. This is just referencing starting out with Python because I don't believe it does arrays, sorting and searching arrays, which is just multi-dimensional arrays, files, menu-driven programs, and then text processing. Well, text processing? No, I think that's going to be its own thing. Okay. Right? Because I think text processing is also, because this is dictionaries and sets, object-oriented programming, inheritance, recursion, GUI programming, the database. No, this is its own thing. Okay. So it's starting out with Python. This is going to be chapter 8. So it does not use this one. Initials. Sum of digits. Code converter. Alphabetic telephone number translator. Translator. Words, average number of words, analysis, and components. Character or frequent char. Most frequent char analysis. No, I could put character, I don't care. Word separator. Pig Latin. Powerball lottery. Gas prices. Okay. Changes. Then that was more about strings. This was dictionaries and sets, which I don't believe I saw in the other one. So I'll do the same thing again. This is going to be chapter 9 in starting out with Python, just to double check, since it would really suck if I went in between files. Yeah, for sure. This one's only in this one. So this one's dictionaries and sets. This one's starting out with Python 5e. This is referencing chapter 9. Programming exercises, course information, course info, capital quiz, crypt, decrypt, well, encrypt, decrypt, unique words, winners. Ow. World Series winners. Name, email. Name and email. Name and emails. Blackjack. Word index. And that's it. Data. So that's dictionaries and sets, lists and tuples. More about strings. Text processing, I believe, is actually, which one was text processing? I thought I did that. Files and exception. No, I skipped it. Right? Dictionaries and sets. More about strings. Lists and tuples. I did all 3 of those. Classes and object-oriented programming. That's later. Inheritance is later. Recursion. GUI programming. Database programming. Okay. So that one goes into classes in OOP. Now I'm assuming we're here. So this is chapter 8 covers arrays within programming logic and design. Sorting and searching arrays, which is multi-dimensional arrays. Files is later. Mini-driven programs is later. Text processing is chapter 12. So it just skips around, essentially. Yeah, I'm just skipping around. Let me just put multi-dimensional. Right? Unless I'm tripping. Because this one just says arrays. And then it goes into multi-dimensional. And this one's just sorting and searching. Are sorting and searching arrays considered multi-dimensional arrays? I wish I had a oh, I do have a sticky. Sticky for the win. Okay. Looking on my laptop. Sorting and searching arrays count as multi-dimensional arrays. do not count as multi-dimensional. Sorting and searching algorithms themselves do not count as multi-dimensional arrays, so I did that wrong then. Single and arrays. Let me redo that. There we go. So list and tuples, single and multi-dimensional arrays, although it only says arrays in the textbook. But it's covering specifically single and multi-dimensional arrays. No, I'm not editing that. .md. So this one's only in this one. This is chapter 8. So this one's total sales again. There's a lot of total sales. Trust, lottery, generator. Yeah, this is just lottery number. Whatever. Rainfall statistics. What in the what? I just... Statistics. Ouch. Number analysis. I did this. Charge account, day of each month. Phone number, lookup, payroll. Yeah, I did these. I'll do them again, but... Rainfall stats. I don't even need to put the whole thing. It's not how you spell analysis. And close out of this. Charge account, day of month, days of each month, phone look up, payroll, driver's exam, saddle points, tic-tac-toe, magic square again. Then it goes straight into the bubble sort. Great if I did this. Okay. I should put this on chapter 12. Just so then I don't have to look around for it. Sorting and searching arrays. Referencing logic and design. This is chapter 9. Programming exercises. Golf scores. Sort names. Sort golf scores. Rainfall modification. Rainfall mod. Name search. Charge count. Valid or validation. Phone lookup. Search benchmarks. Benchmarks. And that's all. Then text processing. This is chapter 12. String. Backward string. Or backward string. Synthesizer. Vowels and consonants. Of digits. Yeah, we did this already. Frequent character. Most frequent char. Yeah, we did this. Why did it separate? I had to go back to see which one we already did this with, but we did this. Yeah, alphabetic translator, word separator, pig Latin, Morse code converter. File encryption and decryption. Password weakness detector is different, but this is... They separated a chapter. I guess just to draw more attention to it. Whatever. Translator. Pig Latin. Morse code converter. Crypt, decrypt. That's not how you spell decrypt. Text processing. think. What about strings? Yeah, that's 06. So then that gets us into advanced logic and external data. This one. So this is now files and exceptions. So I'll go back to 10, which is files in programming logic and design. Then it goes to menu-driven programs, goes to text processing, and then recursion. So it did the same thing where it like placed text processing in like the middle of that, which is weird. Is there files? This goes to OOP, classes in OOP. It goes to inheritance. Recurrence is chapter 12 of starting out with Python, so that's cool. And database, which isn't even covered in the other one, so I will mark this so that I can just skip straight to it. Where did exceptions come from? Text processing. Recursion. Cool. Object-oriented programming. Sorting, searching. Input validation. Functions. Files and exceptions, which is chapter 6. And then it jumps to, so we're going like way back in this textbook. Oh, it felt like I was leaning there for a second. Whatever. Ooh, that scared me. Functions. We did files and exceptions. And just files. List and tuples we did. We literally just did. More about strings we did. Dictionaries and sets we did. Classes, objects, oriented programming, which is next. But we jumped straight to recursion. Which is crazy how I have to go all the way back. So this is steady. Okay. Files and exceptions. And then this one's just files. So I'm gonna start with programming logic and design. Man, it's been a while since I listened to the song. This is chapter 10. This is chapter 6. Yeah, the way that they structured this is weird. Little study. File display. Counter of numbers. Range of numbers. Where's number? Golf scores. Score. Sales report. Oh. High gas prices. Steady. Average steps taken. Then I could skip forward to recursion because that one's next. Okay, file display, file head display. Line numbers, item counter, sum of numbers, average of numbers. Random number file writer. Rand number file writer. I'll just put W. W rand number file reader, or just R. Exception handling. Golf scores. Have it. Page generator. Average steps taken. Hold on to me. I'm a little unsteady. God, that's such a good song. Okay. Yeah. The recursion. Yeah, I put that on repeat. That was a good song. I had to skip ahead to chapter 12 with starting out with Python. And then this is chapter 13. With this one, the menu-driven programs. So this one's text processing. Menu-driven programs is chapter 11 in this one. So I'll make sure to mark that so I can get back to it. But yeah, chapter 13. Appear. GUI programming. House no feel like home. That's classes. What about 11? 11 is inheritance. Okay. Love me, don't let me. This is a recursion, right? Yes. starting out with Python, that would be chapter, it's in front of me, 12. And then programming logic and design, that would be 13. Cursive multiplication. I'm gonna just say mult. Largest element. Recursive array sum. Recursive power method. Grumman's function. And then I can jump all the way back to menu-driven programs. To move this one, I can jump to recursive printing. Recursive multiplication we have. Recursive lines we don't. Largest list item, largest element. Recursive list sum, sum of numbers. No. Function that. Yeah, no, that's different. Sum, largest list item, largest element. Sum of numbers have recursive power, have Ackermann's function, have. And then I have to go to menu-driven programs. This goes to classes and object-oriented programming inheritance. I don't need recursion anymore. GUI programming, database programming. Menu-driven programs is a standalone chapter within Programming Logic and Design 6th edition. And then that'll be the end of this section. Language translator, meal plan selector, geometry calculator, or just geometry calc. Astronomy helper. Golf score. Mod. Phone book. Speed of sound. this one. That is chapter 11. It's menu-driven programs. So now all we have are OOP and modern apps. So that will be classes and object-oriented programming, inheritance, database programming, GUI programming, text processing, recursion, that's object-oriented programming, GUI applications, I think, just to make sure, files, menu-driven programs already did, text processing already did, recursion already did. So now we're on to chapter 14, classes and object-oriented programming. Inheritance is a standalone. Recursion we already did. And I don't have to keep a thing here. Well, I'll keep it. GUI programming. And then database programming. Because I think literally I only have 2 chapters left out of the 15. Yeah. For starting out with programming logic and design. Well, steady. Oh, this is gonna be a fixation. So we're gonna do classes in object-oriented programming. Oop. Okay. Whoopsie. Python. OOP and modern apps. And OOP. MD. So, out of this one's the Python one. The Python, it would be chapter 10. And then for the programming logic, it would just be chapter 14. So we'll start with the programming logic first. So pet class, car class, info class, personal info class, employee and production worker classes. Okay. Class. Production worker class. Essay class, patient charges. Patient class. Procedure class. Right? You know what? pet class, car class, personal info class, employee class, and the production worker class. Essay class stands the graded activity class presented in this chapter. I know it just adds to it, okay. Patient class and then procedure class. Then I could skip forward to the GUI and event-driven programming. Okay. Take this away. I can look at the end of this. So pet class, car class, personal information class, employee class, retail item class. That's not how you spell class. Patient charges. So that's the patient class, procedure class. Employee management system. That's just the employee class. Retail item class. So now you need a cash register class. That's not where I wanted that to go. Cash register class. Then a trivia game. It's a question class. A trivia class. Oh, question class. That's it for that. Commit changes, commit changes. Go back. So that's classes OOP. Now we just need inheritance, which is chapter 12, and it's only the starting out with Python. So this is recursion. So this is chapter 12. This is recursive printing. Am I tripping? No, it can't be. No, it's not recursion. Whoops. Right? Yeah, no, it's inheritance. What am I doing? Yeah, no, I skipped over a whole thing. It's really chapter 11. My bad. Whoopsie. Employee and production worker classes. Employee class. Class. shipped supervisor class. Shift soup class, and then person class, and then customer class. And that's it. And then it goes on to database programming. So before we even get to the GUI, database programming, this is the only one of its kind, I believe. Yeah. Then the last chapters that I have to worry about are chapter 13 and chapter 15 respectively. For at least Python, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 51 minutes. The things I do. Okay. That sucks. My back hurt. Database programming. Readme.md. Base programming. And this is just for this one. So this is chapter 14. Take out the sticky note too. Population database. Oh, I could just put DB for database. I almost forgot about that. I don't have to write all that out. Relational. Relational database, or DB. And that's all. Review 14. And then we go all the way back to chapter 13 for GUI programming and applications and event programming. GUI programming. Event. That is not. This is GUI applications and event-driven programming. This one says GUI programming. It should be GUI event-driven programming. No, it should be event-driven programming and GUI applications. No. GUI and event programming. Programming and apps. Event programming, GUI programming, and applications. You have to redo that. Event programming and GUI apps. Programming, GUI, event programming, and I don't like how that's done. This is GUI programming. It's GUI applications and event-driven programming. I feel like that can be combined, but I just didn't like how it was looking. That's a Latin translator. Yeah, miles per gallon, Celsius to Fahrenheit, property tax. And like 2 new ones. So they can be the same. Programming. That needs to be combined. I hate how that looks. That's gross. Vision. Category. Okay. Maybe just GUI development. Because that goes over programming application. Event-driven application development. Or just front-end development. Sound fair? GUI development. Event-driven application and GUI development, which is just front-end development, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is just front-end development. Okay. Because I didn't like that in the slightest. I'm gonna go this one. I'm gonna change this to front-end development. Front-end development. Yeah, put that in textbook. Oh, just Python. And that was for OOP and modern apps. Front-end development. Crap. Copy. Front-end development, this is going to be chapter 13. I can take a sticky note finally for Python. Starting out with Python 5e, and then that'll be chapter 15 for programming logic and design. I'm going to start with programming logic and design. Name and address. Add in translator. As per Gallon Calc. Temp converter. Ready tags. Location texting mobile app. Location app. Track your route. Close this textbook. This one's name and address. Latin translator. Miles per gallon. Calculator. Temperature. Property tax. Joe's Automotive. Long distance calls. This old house. Tree age. Hollywood star. Commit changes. Commit changes. And then that is it for Python. That sucked. It sucked. But we got through it. I'll sign on tomorrow because it's Saturday and I don't have anything better to do. But I've been streaming for 3 hours now and I'm tired. So I'm gonna go to bed. It's been nice. Always a pleasure. I'll see you later. Bye.